Guys, what is up? It is your boy Joseph with Monkastery Studios. Now in this video, I'm getting into some very controversial waters. And I want to make a very bold statement in this video, but before anyone goes off on me, give me a chance to explain how I've come to the conclusion that I have and why I believe what I believe. So in this video, we're talking about Hollywood. Many people, as a matter of fact, probably more people than ever before, have come to the conclusion that nowadays Hollywood has just run out of ideas. They say the Hollywood is uncreative, can't seem to create any original content anymore. They look back at the golden days of Hollywood when everything was better, and they say movies were original and Hollywood had ideas back then. Hollywood has higher budgets, more technical quality than ever before. But yet, more people than ever are accusing it of running out of ideas. Is it just because so many movies are released? When you reach a point when you literally have thousands of movies that have been released, it's hard to come up with something original. But even that, it's not the problem. The problem is not that Hollywood is running out of creativity. Hollywood is some of the most creative people in the world who have created movies that have literally changed the world. It's not a problem of creativity. So the question is, what is the problem? What has happened to Hollywood in the 21st century? The answer is simple. The problem with Hollywood in the 21st century is franchises. Marvel, DC, Star Wars, Harry Potter, those are all examples of movie franchises. Franchises are ruining Hollywood to the point of no originality. But that's a very bold statement. Some people are like, Joseph, what are you talking about? Give me a chance to explain. These are all huge movies and series that have literally broken the box office. So how are they ruining Hollywood? To explain, let's take a look at the top 10 movies of 2018. I find this list very, very interesting. Number 1 is Infinity War. This is part of the Marvel franchise. Number 2 is Black Panther, also part of the Marvel franchise. Number 3 is Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, which is part of the Jurassic franchise. Number 4 is Incredibles 2, the sequel to Incredibles. Number 5 is Aquaman, which is part of the DC universe. Number 6 is Venom, which is part of the Marvel universe. Number 7 is Mission Impossible Fallout, which is also part of the franchise. Number 8 is Bohemian Rhapsody, which is actually a unique and pretty much original movie. Number 9 is Deadpool 2, which is the sequel to Deadpool. And number 10 is Fantastic Beasts: The Crimes of Grindelwald. What I find interesting about this list, and I'm pretty sure you noticed it too, 9 out of 10 of these movies are all part of either series or franchises. Now, why is this a problem? To explain why this is a problem, let me create an analogy for you guys. So suppose your mom just loves pumpkin, okay? She gets into this obsession over pumpkin to the point all she talks about, thinks about, all she lives for is just pumpkin. And she decides that 6 out of 7 days of a week, all you're gonna eat is just pumpkin. So she starts cooking pumpkin 6 out of 7 days a week. She cooks pumpkin bread, pumpkin pie, pumpkin pudding, fried pumpkin, grilled pumpkin, boiled pumpkin, and she's a really good cook. You love it at first. She puts so much money into this pumpkin. Your mom knows what she's doing, bruh. But after you've eaten pumpkin almost every day for several weeks, you begin to get sick of it. Whenever you think of eating the next meal, you just think about the sickening thought of more pumpkin. It's not that your mom is not creating good pumpkin food, it's just that you've had it so many times, you get sick and tired of it. It doesn't matter that she cooks pumpkin many different ways, it's all pumpkin to you now, no matter how she cooks it, and you hate it. This is how Hollywood has become. They take the same ingredients and reuse them so many times, over and over and over again, as long as people will keep paying for them. You know how the saying goes, familiarity breeds contempt. In other words, you can only see Spider-Man flying through New York City however many times. You can only see lightsaber duels for so many times. Well, lightsaber duels, that might be the one example that people could see till the end of time, and I think they would still like it. But you could only see dinosaurs breaking out of compounds however many times before you stop for a second. All of a sudden, a light turns on in your head and you're like, wait, I've seen that like 10 times. Come on, Hollywood. It gets to the point where it feels like you've seen everything, because Hollywood makes the same movie over and over and over again. At this point, I have almost nothing but criticism for Disney, because it seems like all Disney is worried about doing anymore is buying out popular franchises and just creating unoriginal content instead of actually coming up with any new ideas anymore. I don't think I'm the only guy who has this opinion about Hollywood. Many people, including YouTubers, have voiced the same opinion. A while back, I remember looking at movies and noticing something interesting. It seemed like in movie series, sequels seem to just often get lower ratings than the movies before it. I found that interesting. I don't know if it's because the sequels are actually worse quality, or if it's actually because people are just getting tired of seeing the same movie over and over again. One of the best examples I can give is the Ice Age franchise. Ice Age is one of the best known animated movie series of all time, and has literally brought billions of dollars to 21st Century Fox. But check out the ratings for each of the Ice Age movies. The first Ice Age movie has a rating of 77% by Rotten Tomatoes, which is not bad, but it's not super good either. But the second one has a rating of 57%. The third one has a rating of 46%. The fourth one has a rating of 38%, and the fifth one has a rating of 34%. Literally every single movie in the Ice Age franchise gets a lower rating than the one before it. And this is something that happens in a lot of movie franchises. Take Star Wars, for example. The original trilogy of Star Wars remains the most acclaimed Star Wars movie series of all time. The first Star Wars movie had a rating of 93 by Rotten Tomatoes. And then the second one, if it was possible to achieve a higher rating, was 95. The third movie got 81%, which is a big drop, but still pretty good for a movie. But now get this. George Lucas decided to turn around and create another trilogy, but this time it didn't do nearly as good. The first movie in the prequel trilogy got 54%, the second got 66%, and the third got 79%. Now, any Star Wars fan will tell you that the prequel trilogy is nowhere near as good as the original trilogy. But then Disney, I already told you how much I love Disney. Oh boy, But then Disney took over and they created literally the most hated Star Wars series of all time. Literally every Star Wars series has been more hated than the one before it. Or take the Jurassic Park trilogy. The first one had 91%. It's hard to top that. But then in the second movie, it literally dipped so hard it was down at 54. And in the third one, it dipped down to 50%. But then they brought the franchise back with Jurassic World and started that at 71%. Which was better than Jurassic Park 2 and 3, but not as good as Jurassic Park 1. But when Jurassic Park 2 was released, it got squashed at 48%. Now the reason I give you all these stats is because I find it interesting there's so many big franchises. The more movies that get released, the lower the ratings go. Now the question is, how and why has Hollywood reached the point that it's at? And the answer is really extremely simple. It's just all about money. When you put the amount of money into a movie that Hollywood is putting into all of its movies today, you can't gamble on whether it's going to be a profit or not. You need to know for sure that it's going to pay off when you're putting 100, 200, sometimes even $300 million into a movie. When you're starting a new franchise or creating something no one's seen before, you're not really sure that it's going to pay off. And you're not even really sure that people are going to like it. So Hollywood has done the easy thing, taking a franchise that's already successful and literally milking that franchise as long as people will continue to pay money for it. And it has killed Hollywood's originality. The reason Hollywood seemed so much better in its golden era was because there were fewer franchises and more original movies were released. I mean, yes, there's a lot more movies released now, but that doesn't make it impossible to come out with original content. It can still be done. So does that mean I'm suggesting that Hollywood just get rid of sequels and franchises and, I just hate all that stuff? Absolutely not. There are some movie franchises that people love so much that they never want to see them end. They never want the story to stop. But when 90% of the top 10 movies of a year are franchise movies, that's a problem. I think it should be more like 50-50. 50% of the biggest movies of a year are new original movies and the other 50% are franchise movies. But not 90-10. That will cause people to get tired of you and feel like they've seen it all before. Another point I'd like to bring up is that I also think that Hollywood shouldn't feel like they have to put so much money into their movies. The Lord of the Rings trilogy, literally every single movie was made on a budget of less than $100 million. And yet big Hollywood movies rarely go below $100 million anymore. If Hollywood didn't put so much money into its movies, but yet still made a great quality movie, it wouldn't be quite as dangerous of it losing profit. So anyway, yo guys, that is my opinion. I was just ranting for a couple minutes there, but I'm eager to see what you guys think about my opinion on why I feel like people... Oh my goodness. I'm being called. Do not call in the middle of my video. I should just start muting my phone. Anyway, that's my opinion, guys. Go ahead and comment below. Tell me what you think. Subscribe to the channel. Like the channel. And then do other stuff on the channel. Bye, guys.